Alright, everybody. Just had to get out of the intro movie. But it's Tuesday. Let's get some racing in, shall we? Alright, so let's introduce the race for tonight. So, here we go. Interlagos Group 3. So, racing hard, racing mediums, 15 laps. Now, I've been seeing around people doing around 4 laps around on hards, do the rest on mediums. I think I'm gonna probably do like about 5 to 10. So, mandatory pit stop, basic, unofficially. But yeah, Interlagos, pretty open-ended. I can see a lot of TCR friends have gone with the Porsche as their car of choice. The leaderboard suggests the Audi R8 is the best time trial car, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the Audi for now. And then after a few attempts, I'll try and go for something else. All right, but anyway. Just catch up on some drink here. Alright. Big night. Big weekend, actually, in terms of racing. Sorry, I just gotta move my stuff around. Because I gotta have my phone over here just in case. Alright, so race is about to start. Well, the lobby's supposed to open, so we're gonna get 15 minutes of practice before the race actually begins. As usual, first time out, I'm gonna be doing a last to first challenge. So let me lower the game volume a little bit. But yeah, as always, the first attempt, first attempt is gonna be a last to first. Then subsequent attempts, I'll try to qualify. I'll set a lap time, and then we go from there. Now, of course, we are on the prowl for B rank. Now, as you guys can see, I'm going to go hide my camera here for a little bit. We are very close to hitting B rank, so it is possible we can get up to B rank tonight. So, let's hope that happens. Alright, at any rate... Oops. Let's wait for this entry period to open up. Let's enter. 15 minutes. Let's go. So how I'm going to do this is every time I do a lap, once I make it out of Junsao and down the line to the main straight, I'm going to pause the game and I'm going to restart the lap. Now I typically go with the hood cam, but for this practice, I think I'm gonna go. Tim, thank you for the follow, much appreciated. Coming in with the collab request. I'm actually not live tomorrow, so I probably will not be streaming. I probably won't be doing anything gaming related. I do have some stuff. Hey, I don't think I would be available for that, unfortunately. I appreciate the offer, but you know, fortunately my schedule is booked up for tomorrow. I'm usually busy on Wednesdays, so Oh, shoot. Wasn't paying attention. Let me try that again. I'll just finish up the lap and then I'll try again. Uh-oh. Was that track limits? Also, I realized I'm using the hards. Hold on a sec. I should not be using this compound for well, might as well practice with this compound, but for like hot laps and qualifying, I should be using the mediums. Actually, once I finish up this lap, I gotta go check something real quick. Oh shoot, that was really deep for now. Yeah, hard tires are probably gonna take some getting used to. Yeah, okay. Something. Let me real quick. I gotta go check on something real quick. Sorry about that. Sorry, there was something that came up on my end on the back. I gotta figure something out. But I think we should be okay for now. Da, da, da. Alright. Sorry, let's try that again. I'm kind of playing distracted, so... But, today was super eventful in my gaming circle, you know? Obviously, the big thing today was the Nintendo Direct. You know, plenty of great titles that I have my eye on. Now, obviously, I am very big on Legend of Zelda, so believe me when I say that I am super hyped for the Ocarina of Time remix. Remake. It's gonna be, I'm curious to see how they handle it. You know, we only caught a little glimpse of the art style, but it's very clear that they're going with a different art style for this remake. So I'm very excited. But there are two other titles that I have my eye on. Obviously, we got the new Xenoblade that just got announced, Xenoblade Genesis. And Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 4 finally got a gameplay reveal in the Nintendo Direct of all places, you know? Obviously, we already know about Kingdom Hearts through PlayStation, through Sony State of Play. I think that's where it was originally announced. But that was just a teaser. Now we actually got some gameplay, and I'm interested to see how it goes. You know, because it was very much the setting of Kingdom Hearts 4 so far. It's very much set in like a modern day setting. You know, some of the combat that you see on screen was basically set in Shibuya Crossing. So I don't know if that's meant to be like quote unquote real world, or maybe that's supposed to be like The World Ends With You or something. Because that's the only thing that I could really think of why they would be in a modern setting like that. But then again, I have not finished Kingdom Hearts 3, so I never actually finished it. I think I got like halfway through and just fell off of it. Maybe this is a good excuse for me to replay it. It probably won't be something that I stream, though. You know? Uh-oh. Oh, a little too aggressive. Out of the duck bill. But yeah. If you guys watched the Nintendo Direct, what was your big takeaway? It was a little something for everybody, you know? Well, everybody except, ball and gun shooters, you know? But even then, we had some, we got some stuff, you know? We got Switch Sports, Switch Sports Resort. We got, Splatoon. So, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna end up, I'm gonna sneakily get back into playing Splatoon 3. Because of the, some of the stuff that they just announced in the lead-up for Raiders. You know, I'm gonna try to take part in the new Splatfest that they've announced for July, mid-July. I think I want to do that. I probably want to play some of the DLC. You know, I did. I remember getting Side Order, the Side Order DLC for Splatoon. So I should probably give that more of a shot because that was more of like a roguelike. That single-player DLC. So, and of course, Splatoon is getting its own direct. I think later in the year. I think it's I forgot. It's like later this month, maybe end of June. So that's something to look forward to if you guys are into the silly Squid Game, the original Squid Game. Alright, decent. My friend, one of my friends is super excited because of the Fire Emblem news that came out. You know, I think it was called, what, Fortune's Weave or something like that. But yeah, there's a lot of good titles. Muramasa is getting a remaster. So I played the original version of Muramasa on the Wii back in the day, and holy cow, to see it back with all like the PS Vita content that they held out on, really cool. I think the game out of left field that really got me was the One Piece game. So it's a restaurant manager. It's a restaurant management game that's One Piece themed. I thought that interesting art style, but it was like, okay, they're going with pixel art. But then I looked at the UI, I'm just like, wait a minute. This is made by Kairosoft. So seeing Kairosoft in a Nintendo Direct was really something for me because I play a lot of their mobile games. You know, they're mostly famous for a game called Game Dev Story, which was at the when Game Dev Story came out, like back in the day, almost like more than 15 years ago, bordering on 20 years ago. It was considered like one of the early high-budget mobile games of its time. Obviously, it's pretty archaic by today's standards when it comes to mobile gaming, but Game Dev Story was pretty addicting. So, and a lot of their games are still out. They do a lot of things. I know they've done collaborations with Doraemon. I think I forget what else they've done. They've done like free-to-play titles of some of their big games. So I'm curious to see how the One Piece cooking game goes. I might end up getting it if it's relatively cheap. But the way that it was shown off at the Direct, I'm like, okay, this is very much a mobile game that was retooled into a Switch game. So, but speaking of mobile games turned into Switch titles, the Final Fantasy game that was announced for Switch, Final Fantasy, I think it was called Dimensions, or I think it was called Dimensions or No, it's not Revelations. I forget. God, it's eluding me right now, but it caught my eye because according to a lot of the comments that I saw from like reaction streams and from some people in the comments of the standalone trailer, apparently it's the Final Fantasy game that we're getting on Switch is a remake of sorts. It's basically an adaptation of the game Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which was a mobile game. You know, it was a gacha game it recently went end of service. So what they're doing is they're taking all the material of Brave Exvius and readapting it into a standalone game with all the gacha stuff removed. So I'm curious to see how they do it. Now, this is not the first time that Square Enix has done something like that. Octopath Traveler 0. That game was originally meant to be, that's an adaptation of a gacha game in Japan. It was just retooled into a full-price title here in America, here in the West. And they've done it pretty well. So if they do like the same sort of, style of how you can recruit characters, just like how they do in Octopath, I think they're gonna do an okay job. Okay, first race is about to start. Let's go. Okay. Lot of C-rated drivers here. There's a random B-rated driver, but with a D rating. Excuse me. Okay, 15 on the grid. I'm going to be starting P12 because 5 people, including me, did not set a lap time. So this first run, I'm going to go without a lap time. After this, I'll qualify. Alright, give me 1 second. Alright. Let's put our brake balance to the rear. And let's see if we can get something out of this first run. Alright? Now, for P12, let's see if we can try to get P7 or P8. Off we go. Uh-oh. Some contact up ahead, so we have to navigate around this. But we gained a position, so not bad. Alright, people being spun. So even though I'm gaining, I'm also being a little bit too cautious, so I'm losing. But there could also be like a tire advantage and disadvantage that's making me lose some time. Oh, yep, push me offside. The good thing is that for every position I'm gaining, I'm also for every position I'm losing, I'm gaining in equal measure. Alright, so one position gained. Now, I don't see anybody losing out through penalties. But look at that big melee up front. There's like almost 5 cars about to push each other into turn 1. Alright. Alright, I'm really curious to see who's on mediums, who's on hards. Because that's gonna be like my real gauge of what my pace is. Yep. People pushing, people shoving. Alright, it's quietly caught me up to these guys, so not bad. Let's see if I can get Nervous Wreck here into Curva del Sol. I'm going to have the inside line. I'm going to leave him space, but I clearly have the run. Alright, so great. One position gained. Oops, spin. Alright, I'm gonna go in and swap off to the mediums right now. I'm just playing this by ear. I was watching my TCR brethren do some of these daily races, and 3 and 12 was what some of them did. So let's see if that rings true for us as well. Alright, so I'm gonna drop down to P13. However, do bear in mind, I got a big, a good amount of people ahead of us has yet to pit. Now, good thing is, the 2 people behind me that are chasing me have yet to pit themselves. So that means I've got a lot of time ahead. If they have to do their pit stops, then I'm just gonna pull away. Oh, yellow flag. That's one of the people that was in the pits alongside me. So that's going to be a freebie. All right. Let's see. If the undercut worked on these guys. Looks like it, yeah. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, I just jumped a couple people. Alright, so let's take a stock of the situation right now. Alright, Hudson, the Brazilian, is our next target. Looks like they served a penalty because they just lost a huge chunk of time. Now there is a yellow. Well, there's Hudson right there. He also spun out into the Senna S. So that's a freebie. I'm up to P9. So we're looking pretty good. Uh-oh. Made a big mistake there. Yeah. Leave space, leave space. Alright, I'm gonna get a good run and get this position, well, I was going to get this position back, but then... yeah, penalty ruins my my momentum. Alright. So let's just settle in for now. Gonna see how this this battle plays out. Also, there's my personal best is actually only like a 1/10 off of the fastest time, so I actually do have pace on these guys. So I need to do something real quick and get past them. Oh shoot. Alright, I need to settle down here. I was actually kind of worried. That was kind of a dive bomb. I didn't really want to dive bomb like that, but I just did not have the brakes there. Alright, big group here. 3 cars up ahead. Now they're in a battle. Alright. Does he outbrake himself? No, he's fine. Need to figure something out here. Alright, one person's coming out of the pits, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So P11. So I gotta imagine near the end is when a lot of these people will go into the pits. So it might be until the last 3 or 4 laps where we can really make our move, but I gotta keep things moving along. I can't really lose time on these guys. Alright, I gained 1 position due to pits. too much occur about the Senna S here. Now, I don't know if the Brazilian is trying to aggressively defend, but it's backing these guys up a lot, and it's reeling them in. Super wide. Very sloppy from me there out of Junsao. Alright, I gotta try, but I gotta make up some time. It's not what I'm looking for. Might have been contact there. Of course, it's going to push me off to the side. Alright, we had a penalty being served, so let's see how that gets into play. Alright, we have Tire Whisper coming out of the pits, but they are on the hard compound, and they are on cold tire, so they should not be that big an issue for me. And the Brazilian that was chasing me kind of got pushed off to the side, so... Uh-oh. I think I cut a little bit too much there into Junsao. Yeah, I did. It's gonna be a penalty for me. But a penalty for the guys behind, too. So I just got me some breathing room as well. So I'll take that. Oops, somebody's one off track. And we got a DNF, so I take up freebie. Canadian's gone off as well. He might get an additional. So this could reel him in for me to have a go at him. Oh, yeah. Got an extra half second for that, so there's a possibility I can overtake him. Alright, gonna overtake. Uh-oh. I went super wide. I think the Porsche might be the better race car. Alright. Boxed out. Oh, there's a bit of contact there, but I should be okay. Alright, we're entering final lap territory. Let's see if we can steal something. Come on. Alright. Decent result for the first go. P10, but let's see if there's any post-race penalties applied that could bring me up a bit. So some silly mistakes scumbered my growth here. Am I still P10? Yeah, I'm still P10. And the guy that was chasing me, Hudson, got the 1-minute penalty for not doing his proper pit stop. So, alright. Let's just see. There's one more guy that's still running, but we'll see how that goes. So P10 to start. I'm gonna lose a little bit of driver rating, but it's only because I really started at the back. Alright. Let me see what this looks like for the driver rating. I didn't lose too much, so it's alright. Alright. Real quick. Let me just run a quick ad break. I just need to go do something real quick. I saw something in my on my feed that I need to figure out. So back in 3 minutes. I'm just gonna put myself in the next lobby. Alright. Hold on, I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, sorry for the wait, I'm back. Alright, where am I? P14. Alright, now the thing is, turns out when we finish this race, we don't have much time to set a lap, so that's something I'm gonna have to worry about. Shoot, what was Daily Race B for this week? I think it's Brands Hatch. I think what I can do probably is do like a quick Daily Race B or something, and use that to like put myself out of sync, so I can give myself time to set a lap time so I can qualify. Alright. Alright, so let's do another run with the Audi here. But I'm probably going to switch to the Porsche for next race. So, we'll see how that goes. Ooh. No. Yep. Some people will rather spin you out than concede position. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. We're massively out of sync. There is a yellow flag. I don't know for who, though. Looks like it got away nice and easy, though. Alright, so I got 9 seconds to make up to get to my, my first target. Alright, we have somebody into the pits right now. I might be able to overtake them, but then I'm gonna have to serve my pit stop anyway, so. Too aggressive on the exit. Stewards, what do you say about that? Alright, stewards say I'm okay. Alright, that's a mistake on my end because I went too deep. Alright, for what it's worth though, what it's worth, my gap to the car ahead is now 8.5. So I'm gaining a little bit in that respect. Another person pitting early. All right, 7.9. Slowly but surely. Alright, I think for this Audi, we gotta stay in second gear throughout Sector 2. Because I think we got a lot more stability and pace coming out. Well, let's push on about 135.5. Alright, it's a small margin, but I'm gaining. Alright, we have a DNF, so I get one back. Alright, so my target is dropped back like crazy. He's now 3 seconds on me. And we're closing him down. Alright, what I'm thinking is I'm gonna do one more lap and then I go in. Personal best. Alright, 2.5. Closing him down pretty well. Push, push. Let's get him. That's super wide. Did not need to go that wide. Alright, not bad. 2 seconds left. Now, I'm gonna go in and do my mandatory stop. Alright, so I'm probably gonna drop back down the order. I'm probably coming out dead last again. But, knowing that a good portion of the group ahead of me still needs to do their stops, like Bonesaw, Gunter, Blue Dog, I know that they still got to do their stuff. They've already done their stuff, so I don't need to. I'm not fighting them. All right, I need to update my. I need to update some of my liveries. Some of these guys, some of these cars have outdated sponsors and stuff like that. Push on. So I got 10 seconds to make up. But mind you, pre-pit stop, the guy that I'm chasing is around 12th, around P12. So this guy is actually like further up. So in terms of net distance and net lead, this guy's like 4 positions ahead of me. Alright, we have one guy in P11 that's going off of his mediums and going onto the hards. Not sure if that's the right choice to make, my friend, staying on the mediums that short. So this guy is going to be actually pretty vulnerable. So he's coming out ahead of me. But his tires are cold, and he's got the harder compound. I think he'll realize pretty soon that that's not the right... that's not the optimal strategy he wants to be on. Alright, let's chase him down. 5.7. That was a bit of sloppy work there. Alright, 5.1. Yeah, some of these medium runners going off now, doing long stints on the hard, that's not really the case. That's not what you really want to be doing, guys. You can go much longer. You can get at least 9 to 10 laps out of these things. Out of these mediums. All right, 134.9, that's my current best. But I know I'm capable of better. And if you're just joining us and you're wondering why I'm all the way at the back, for one, I did an early pit stop, but two, I got spun out and taken out at lap 1. So, unfortunately, I have to play a catch-up with everybody. Come on. Now, the guy that we're chasing, Corey, this Canadian driver, he's on the hard compound. So we have a tire advantage. I know that much. Now we got some traffic out of the pits. Oh, Gunther Steiner has departed. So I've pipped this guy, KT11. Corey here is also in the Beatles, so interesting choice here. All right, come on. Let's see if we can get him. We're getting him. I'm gonna get a good run here. I should be able to get this. Well, that didn't work out the way I wanted to. Whew. Alright, we're starting to pull away from the Canadian. So, there's the tire advantage working in our favor. Now, a lot of these people still have not gone into the pits yet. So I'm curious to see how KT and I are able to manage these last few laps. That's a mistake on my end. We're getting a good run on him. This is a really good race that we're having. But we're still in it. Did I go a little too over? What do the stewards say? Alright, they say I'm okay. Well, so freebie was given to us, or P12. Now, it's the final lap. My question is, do we have anybody that has not done what they're supposed to? Alright, we got the move done, but now we gotta defend it. Alright, there's a big gaggle of cars up ahead. So let's see how that plays out in the tire offset and the last lap shenanigans. Shoot, did I overdo it? I'm too far. Slipstream's not going to do anything for me here. Alright, so P12 on the road, and that's where it's going to stay. Ah, if I didn't bottle it into Junsao, I would have had it. Darn. But that was a really good race, though. So don't let the P12 fool you. That's the type of racing that I want to see. It's a shame that I got taken out right at the start, so I can't really push for any higher positions. But, you know, you still gotta make do with what you got. Alright, so from P14 to P12. But I do want to give KT11... Alright, I didn't lose too much, so that's good. Alright. Let's get out quickly so I can get ready for the next race and maybe set a lap time. Actually, wait. Let's give the Porsche a go. Come on. I don't think I'll be able to set a lap time at this stage. I don't think I have time. Yeah, because with the time that's left, shoot. But let me just get a feel for the Porsche on this track. I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'll do hards to mediums. It's a little bit wide out of the duckbill. Slight lift from Magulio. Dang it. Really wish I could make it to the line. Oh well. Alright, so where am I? P15. So we're gonna end up racing a Nervous Wreck again. Guy from the last race, from the first race that we did. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Because I think if I qualify, I'm probably going to be in like a mid-pack. Based on my normal pace, I'm usually around like the 130, like high 33s, low 34s. So. Okay, so I'll do 3 and 12. I'll pit at the end of lap 3. Maybe lap 4 if I have some extra pace, if I have some pace. Or some clean air. Alright, I'm probably going to take a ad break after this. Let's see. Alright, but I do appreciate everybody that's come out to watch, you know. Getting some more streams in. Pulling out the Iron Dames livery. But yeah, some big Le Mans related content on the weekend. So what I'm probably going to do is Friday, I'll do Le Mans on Le Mans Ultimate. But some shenanigans into the Senna S. So that's given me a position. Oh shoot, what the hell? Oh boy. Never change, Interlagos, never change. Braking a little earlier than I would like to, just to see if I can maybe steal a position out based on some contact. Yeah, we got a spinner here. Everybody concertinaing up. Oh shoot, I'm gonna get done for track. Oh no. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Oh. Well, that was not ideal at all. Oh, I lost it at Mergulio and I ended up getting reset. Now, some of this behavior will continue, so I can easily get these positions right back. And also, bear in mind, I am on the slower compound, so I will get pace later in the race. Yeah, these guys are just pushing and bumping into each other. They're not actually racing. They're trying to kill each other. So let's try to take advantage of this without actually being in the melee. Because I see a 3-second penalty from this Colombian driver. Yeah, 3 wide going in here. And I've just been reeled in. Oh, there was a brake check there. There was no way the Canadian driver up ahead would have stopped like that normally. Yeah, this Porsche is brake checking. Now that leaves me in a bit of a bind here. Do I stick around with these guys, or do I go for the pits? You know what? Let me try and pull away from this guy for one more lap, then I'll consider going in. Actually, if they go in, yeah. I'll push for one more lap. Alright, so P10 provisionally, but I know that only one person behind has gone into the pits. All these hard tires, I want to get rid of them. These things are not as planted as I would like them to be. Yeah, Grandpa Racer has pulled away a lot. He could be on mediums. Alright, so let's go in, and let's see how this plays out. Alrighty. Do our mandatory stop. Probably going to be like around P14, P15. I'm probably going to be dead last. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Thank you, boys. Okay, I'm coming out P14, it looks like. So Nervous Wreck is somebody that I'm directly fighting for position right now because they've already gone into the pits. Alright, so let's get these tires up to temp. I've got a 5-second margin to him. See how this goes. 5.4. But also bear in mind, a good portion of the grid still has to do their pit stop. So this could still work in my favor, despite the early hiccups. 5.1. I need some sort of incident to help push me through. That's me being a little unsure of the car. Alright, we got a DNF, so freebie. Alright. One person in the pits right now. Let's see if I can overtake him through. Might not make it out. Yeah, he comes out ahead of us. So P11. Alright. Come on, I need to get some pace in here. Small gain, 4.9, but not nearly enough. Alright, now it's got a bit of a logjam, so this could help me. Now, some of these guys have done their pits, some of them have not. Oh, too much curb there. Alright, some penalties being served as well, so that's going to reel in some targets. 3.5, 3.6, rather. And there's an active battle. Navra, I think, has also gone into the pits, too. So that could be a fight for position for me. Oh, I lost the rear a little bit. Shouldn't have gone down to first, maybe. Was that track limits, stewards? What do you say? I'm gonna be able to get this guy out of the pits? No. But he's on cold tires. Let's see if I could take advantage of that. His grip levels are probably not as high as they could be. Let's see how this middle of the race will play out. Some of these guys have gone in, some of these guys have not. Alright, we're gonna overtake one person that I was ahead of. Should be able to come out ahead of him. Yeah, by some distance. Alright. Oh, was that track limits? I don't know. Alright, I think I'm okay. Would have been penalized by now if that was track limits. These two guys are fighting. Uh-oh. Oh, come on, come on. Push, shove, kill yourselves. Come on. Give me a freebie. Yes. Yes. That's what you get for being stupid, guys. 2 free positions. This guy's like flashing me, but I'm not gonna make it easy. Just gonna play it out, see where it goes from here. Push on, push on, push on, come on. Stay with them. Alright, so we got a freebie here. New York Rasa has departed. Let's just play it safe. Keep going. Back off a little bit, give him that position back. Because there was like a difference in speed there. That wasn't me trying to punt him off. Alright. Big group up ahead. Let's see if this can translate into some good carnage for us. Still got about 3 laps to go. Let's see here. Come on, I just need you guys to start getting a little bit more ill-tempered. Yeah, there was some contact there. Saw the smoke. Oh, okay. Peruvian knew what he was doing with that. Shamefully, there's no penalty. I mean, I'll take the P9, but you know for a fact. Oh, he's going off track. That could be track limits, I don't know. We'll see. Gets away with that. That surely has to be track limits. Alright, that's going to give me a position, but I don't think that'll be taken lightly. Lost a little bit of grip there. Alright, so we're in P8. Let's see how this final few laps are going to play out. Some of the late runners have gone into the pits to do their hard stints. Push away. Just 3 seconds away from the top half of the table. Alright, let's push. Come on. right up on him. Less than 2 seconds. The tires are starting to wear, but it's still good enough. A little too much curb there. I want to be patient on the exit. Alright, crucially, I'm pulling away from the Peruvian behind. Alright, we have a DNF from behind. Grandpa Racer has departed. Final lap. Let's do this. Kind of bungled that a little bit, but still got a decent sub 2 second lead on the guy behind. Oh, big gain there on the guy behind. So it should not be that big an issue. Come on. Any penalties being served ahead? I thought I saw somebody going slow. But considering how he started, I'll take P8. But let's see if there's any post-race penalties to be applied. Alright, we say P8. Good result. Good result. Starting to get somewhere here. But look at the B-rated sportsmanship that I'm seeing from some of these guys. So we need to do something about that pronto. Alright, are we in the window for a ad break? Yeah, we kind of are. So Maverick behind got a 2-second penalty, so not that big a deal for us. But from 15th to 8th, this is our biggest climb of the day so far. Alright, and we did gain some driver rating, so this is pretty good. Alright. Let's hop on out. Alright. So we got about 3 minutes until the next race. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want you guys getting an ad break during the race, so I'm going to run it now. Okay, guys? So I'll be back in 3 minutes. We'll be in the lobby as soon as the break ends, okay? So back in a few. Alright, everybody. Back from break. Everybody else should be filing in right now. Let me see, where am I? I'm P14. So, yeah, same as before. Hards to soft. Now, here's the thing. I did set a lap time during the break, but I forgot to switch to the mediums. So I have a 136.0, which is not a competitive time. But it does guarantee that I'm at least a few positions up ahead. Alright. But we should be good to go for the actual race. Now, I think some people are coming back from the ad break, so they'll be back right on time. Alright. Welcome back if you're coming in from the ad break. Sorry guys, I really wanted to make sure that you guys did not get any ads during the racing itself. You know, I'd rather you guys have it during the downtime, so you don't miss out on the fun action. But this is probably going to be the last ad break for the night, but let's see if we can get something done here. Alright, so we're P14. Let's see if we can get a better result out of this. Oh, look how... Ugh. Of course. So I gained 2 positions out of that section. I'll stay on the outside, because you know these guys are going to lunge at each other. Alright, we got a person spun round. So not bad, we're P9. But also, do bear in mind, I am on the slower tire. So if I can get good positions out of this, I'll be set. So P8. Somebody's on the grass. So P7. Any penalties to serve up ahead? No, but we do have a DNF, so really good start to the race. Because now I gotta think, when do I pit? If I have a pace on these guys, do I keep on, try to steal some positions, or do I pit now? And set myself up for later. Because we're in the upper pack now, so these guys are probably on mediums. But it looks like rather than outright pace, they're just blocking each other. There you go, there's one spin. And there is a 1-second penalty to be served up ahead, so there could be another position gained out of this. Alright, so Shifty has moved out. So I'm P5 now. Now I got the inside line going into the Senna S. I'm a little bit too far back. It'll have to be a speculative move. But I think I got it done. I gotta watch out on the outside. But there we go. I got the move done. Now, you know this guy's not gonna bump draft me. Alright, but I hold my position. I hold my line. And now we're into P4. Uh-oh. Some contact amongst these guys. Can I go around the outside? Maybe get some position here? Yes, I am. I'm in the podium. Take a defensive line, cover off the apex. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in. Alright, so this is a bit of a risk. I'm going to drop down the order by quite a bit. However, I'm going to get these positions right back as the race goes on. So, I'm playing the super long game here. And I should come out in relative clean air. I don't think I'm going to have... Yeah, there's nobody behind me. Phoenix is like a good 50 seconds. So I think I'm the only one that's done their pit stop right for now. Now I can really focus on just putting in good laps. Alright, so what's my first target? 12 seconds out. See if I can do something about that. Yellow flag about. There was an incident. Alright, less than 5 seconds. We have a Canadian in the pits. A couple people in the pits. Let's see. How many positions am I going to be able to take here? So nervous wreck. So that's about what? 4 or 5 people? What's their gap behind? About 5 seconds. Alright. 11 seconds to the next guy. 10.2. .8. Not the numbers I really want to be doing. I want to be in the 133s on a more regular basis. Alright, but the guy ahead is now 9.5, so that's promising. 9.2. Alright, Bedoya, the guy that I was chasing after before I went into the pits, he's gone in as well. So he should be coming out pretty close to where I am right now. Let's see how these pit stops affect me. And my climb. So I'm up to P7. I don't think I'm going to be able to take P6. It's going to be very close. Yeah, we're like slightly ahead. So this undercut worked in my favor. But there's still a lot of race to go, and we're going to be fighting each other, so... Now, we do got to bear in mind that they are on fresher tires, so I'm just going to play the long game. I'm just going to work with him rather than try to outright fight him. I'll try to keep pace. Alright, we got a medium runner going into hards, so that's going to be slim pickings, or no, easy pickings. Because you can get much more life out of these mediums. So Bedoya and I are now 4th and 5th respectively. So we're starting to climb here. I gotta stay with this guy. 134.5, this is not enough. Alright, but we're back up P4. Let's make it work. Come on. Alright, we have a DNF from behind. Alright, Shifty, one of the last people that has yet to pit, has gone in. So we should be able to overtake him. Or be significantly close by. That was a bit of a mistake on my end, going down the Senna S. Now, I should have the push on Shifty here. Hopefully that's not track limits. What did the steward say? Alright. We're okay. Phew! But I gotta pull away from this guy behind. He's on fresher tires, so. Alright, we're in the 133s. Oops, sorry about that. Come on. Alright, we're hanging in there. 1.1 to the car ahead, car behind. 1.8 to the car ahead. Oh shoot, that is definitely going to be track limits. Oh no, I got away with it. But I did lose a bit of time though. Alright, come on. We're actually reeling Bedoya in, so this is actually pretty good. Let's go, come on. We're within a second. Oh, but Shifty's caught up too. Keeping it nice and tidy. Alright, leader has decided to pit. I'm gonna keep it. Gonna see here. I'm gonna let these two battle it out. See if it gets a little bit naughty. And I'll see if I can take advantage after the fact. Yeah, there's some weird jostling going around. So let's see if these guys kill each other. There you go, see? Oh, there's contact. Oh! There you go. Now, is there a penalty ahead for Shifty? 4 seconds! There you go. Play the long game, and that's what happens. Get an impatient guy ahead of you. Take out an innocent bystander, he gets a penalty, I get to go through. Big brain move. Alright. Now it's between me and Fuentes. Now let's see if I can hold him off. But another thing I gotta bear in mind, the leader is on hards. And I'm reeling him in. Never mind consolidating second place. There's an outside chance for a win here. Alright, one more lap. He's on my right side, so I gotta be careful. Respect his space. Alright, job's not done though. Went a little bit long. Good result regardless of the circumstances. I think the leader is going to hang on here unless something bad happens. The tires are starting to give out for me. Yeah, let's just bring the car home. Ugh. Got a little too cheeky with the final turn. But hey, P14 to podium? I'll gladly take this. This could be enough to get us into B rank. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how the rankings play out. Let's wait for everybody to finish up. Alright, come on, come on, come on. I think we have time for one more race, do we? Yeah, we got time for one more race. Let's do it. Alrighty. Ah! Ender! Party of 4! How's everybody doing? Just in time. We got time for one more race, guys. But Ender, what were you playing tonight? Just waiting for one last person to finish the race, and then we'll be on to the next one, okay? Come on, Phoenix. There we go. Second playthrough of Silent Hill F. Nice. Okay, how'd it go? Beautiful. P14 to P3. Good result there. Went okay. Good to hear. Hope everybody enjoyed Ender's stream. If you guys are coming in from his raid, oh, we're so close to B rank. All right, we have time for one more. But yeah, anybody coming in from Ender's raid that doesn't know who I am, I'm Jet. I'm a variety streamer. My specialty is racing games, however. We're playing some Gran Turismo right now. We're doing Group 3 machinery in Interlagos, real track in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So what we did is we've been doing some last to first challenges. However, I tried to set a lap time, but I'm on the wrong compound again. I keep forgetting to do this. It's just that I don't have much time in between races to set a proper lap. But yeah, we're trying to do some races in. We're trying to get our way back up into B rank. So a positive result in this race could mean that we get promoted to B, which is great because this weekend is the start of the Gran Turismo Nations Cup. So we'll be doing a stream on Saturday, you know, for the occasion. We'll be doing some competition over there. But yeah, we're taking out the Porsche 911, you know, and I decided to deck my Porsche out in the Iron Danes pink. So this is a real world livery, by the way, this pink and white Porsche. So yeah, hope everybody enjoyed Ender's stream. And if you don't follow me already and would like to, this is a great community if you want to hear some nice, relaxing sim racing action. You know, we're not like one of those super sweaty guys that just like, oh, I gotta win, I'll take everybody out if I need to. Nah, that's not the case. We're proper gentlemanly racers, you know? We play things by the book. We have fun, you know? Good vibes. But if that's your thing, feel free to leave a follow, you know? We're trying to get to 500 by the end of the year, so 417, we're in a good pace. Hopefully you guys can help us out with that. Same thing on the YouTube side too. I'm actually multi-streaming on YouTube as well. So if you guys want to give that a follow as well, feel free. Cost you nothing. We're trying to get up to 100 over there. So, alright. So we're gonna get our first warm up. Yeah, I'm gonna do hards to mediums. Okay, so warm up is complete. We didn't need to go in onto the track. Alright guys, so let me explain how this race is going to work, okay? So we have to use the racing hard tires and the racing medium tires. We have to use 2 different sets of tires, so there's a mandatory pit stop in between. Now, I'm starting this race in 12th, so P12, alright? Which means I'm going to be toward the back. What I'm going to try to do is, I'm going to do about 5 laps. I'll do about like 5 laps on this slower tire. Then at the end of lap 5, I'll go in, do my mandatory change, swap onto the mediums, and go balls out. Alright? Now the goal here is to try to get at least a P7. P7 typically means a positive driver rating gain. So, with any luck, this race will put us into B rank. But what I have to navigate right now, I need to navigate the melee that is going to happen. You know, that happens with lap 1s. So if I can gain some positions while on the slower compound, it'll set me up for success later on when I go into the mediums. Nice and easy. Whoop. People got checked up. There's 1 position gained here. Gonna get a good run out of Curva del Sol. There's a 2-second penalty being served. Well, about to be served. So that could be a free position gained as well. Alright, we're gonna look to the marshal box on the right side as our braking point. Sorry guys, a little bit of a concertina effect. Everybody's all bunched up together. So, some contact is inevitable. That's just incidental contact. Turn 1 incident. Or lap 1 incident, I should say. Alright, I'm washed out a little wide. Bear in mind, I am on the slower compound, so my speed is not going to be as dominant as the others. But that's by design. I want to get my slower compound out of the way first. Alright, so people are going to dive bomb in. Yep, there's a punt. Fortunately, that affects me negatively. Alright. We have a penalty served. So that's a freebie. So throughout all that carnage, no gain, but no loss either. Oh my lord. Accidental punts are going to be a pain. Especially considering I might, especially if it's clear that I have some pace over these guys. Alright, track limits for the Argentine up ahead, so yellow flag up ahead. That means somebody must have had an incident. There we go. Oh, cutting the chicane. Around the outside of Mergulio. They're gonna try to push me off. But I'm not gonna be... Oh, shoot. Yeah, this is going to be the problem. Some people will think, okay, if I just push, I can use you as a way to make the corner. It's not clean racing. So, here's my mindset. I'm going to try to get 1 or 2 positions now. And then Yep, here we go. Now it's getting silly. But me getting spun around and forcing me to exceed track limits, that's frustrating. So despite my gains here, I'm gonna lose these positions. Which is not ideal. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my pit stop now. Okay, let's see how this goes. Alright, gotta stay hydrated. Gotta stay focused. Yeah, a lot of people have decided to go in now. Alright, so this is gonna be a pain. Where am I going out? I'm going out P14. Now let's see if anybody went across pit lines. I'm like fairly convinced somebody went in across the pit line, which would be a penalty. Alright, so Phoenix is our target here. 1.5. Let's get back up to speed. And let's see if we can make something out of this. Alright, one person into the pits right now. Alright, should be able to overtake the Mexican driver coming out of the pits. Should be fine here. Alright, we have a DNF. So one freebie. So I'm back to my starting position in P12. A little wide there. Alright, I'm gonna see how this guy goes. Instead of fighting him, I'll just tuck it to the slipstream. It's a little squirrely. Now I do gain one position back. I can see some more people off in the distance, so that could be some positions gained if I keep things nice and tidy. .8. Alright. Starting to get a little bit more bunched up ahead, so sorry for me not talking too much that last lap or two. Really focused. Alright, I can see some contact up ahead. Alright. Some people are thinking that you can do 7 and 8 for this race. That's not really the preferred strategy. Oh shoot. I cut the duckbill. That's not allowed. Surprised I got away with that. Alright, this Mustang is all out of sorts. Think you could let me through, buddy? No? Alright. Try to beat you on merit then. Alright, somebody behind me has decided to depart. Alright. He's on my inside, so I know he's not gonna yield for me. Get him on the cutback. Beautiful. P11. Now there's some shenanigans afoot. I'm pretty sure this guy Bento Box, I'm pretty sure he was causing some issues in an earlier race. Yeah, of course. Punt me off. Bit of karma with that one. Alright. Let's settle down again. We're heading toward 2/3 of the race distance. Oh, we got a spin. And we got an overtake, so that's P10. Beautiful. Let's take advantage of this, get some more momentum. Alright, guy behind me decided to give up. Alright, so only 2 people behind. Make that 1. I don't want to finish last. I want to try to finish in the top half. So I'm kind of banking on these guys to cause a kerfuffle with each other. Alright, 1.3 to the car ahead. Side by side. He wanted to hit me. Alright. I gotta make a decisive move and get past him. Because he's actually reeling me in. I had a 2-second lead on the Mexican behind. Now it's only 0.8. So this guy is actually ruining our race. I think he moved under braking. That looks sketchy as a defense. Yeah. So this is not what I got. This is what I got to deal with now. Guys that won't race cleanly. Yeah, and he decided to rage quit, so good riddance. Because that definitely looked like moving under braking, which is not allowed. It's not going to get penalized under the Gran Turismo system, but live stewards would notice that and penalize them for that. Because that's seen as an illegal defense, you know. Once you're in a braking zone and you're committed, you can't just move across and block somebody out like that. Alright, I gotta see if I can get past these guys. But also, if there's accidental contact with Bola here, I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna get the position back. So if he initiates contact and it causes him to spin out, we won't get the position back because we know the type of driver that he is from that contact. See, there's he goes into slicks here. Yeah, don't crash from behind. That's all I gotta do. Yeah, see? Take him out. Or we could do that. Just stick close, let them beat each other up, and profit. my foot's cramping a little bit on my left side. Slicks, if you race me clean, I will race you clean. Alright? I'm not like Bola here. It's probably in your best interest to bump draft me. But okay. He's on my inside, so I gotta give him space. This is such a pain having to deal with these guys. Use the R8, it's better than the Porsche. Yeah, I decided to try it. Woohoo! Somehow I knew that was gonna happen. But yeah, Fawaz, for the first few races I was using the Audi, but I decided to give the Porsche a go, just for a change of pace, you know. And to be fair, the Porsche has given me a couple of good results so far tonight, so. But don't get me wrong, I do like the Audi though. It's also a good pick. Now, unfortunately, all the stupidity that was going on behind me with those two guys, it's kind of made P7 a bit of a hard ask at this time. So, yeah, this is why I'm really trying to push into B rank. You know, trying to get out of this this skill bracket. You know, I'm so close. Just gotta get some top half results and I should be fine. Now, I don't know if this will be the one to get me there, but we'll see how this goes. Alright, one more lap to go. Now, for what it's worth, I pulled up a second on Little Kerman here. And now we're about 1.2 away from the rabble behind. Let's see if we can maybe scrounge something up. Yeah, this is the stuff we got to deal with down in the doldrums of C and B. You know. Oh, that was a little careless of me. God, that really just goes to show what I could have done. Because I'm reeling this guy in pretty quickly. Oh, man. If I had maybe like 2 or 3 more laps. Yeah, I know. I turn now. Good luck. Basically. That's the mindset of everybody. You know, if you don't go for the gap, you're no longer a driver. The Senna quote. Well, there's no gap. Make one. Because I can think of like 4 or 5 different incidents here that would not get caught in the current Gran Turismo penalty system, but would be caught with live stewards. So, all right, let's see what happens here. P8. All right, Bonilla gets a 1-second penalty, but that's not good enough to steal P7. All right. Decent run for the night. 12th to 8th. Slicks immediately left. So one of the guys that tried to push me off, cause problems, he immediately ran as soon as the race ended. Now, let me see here. Ugh. Look at this. You see this? This irks me. This really irks me. I'm so close to B rank. Just give me the B rank. Ugh. Save the replay. Darn. Okay, it is getting late. It is midnight. It's time for me to head to bed. I got work tomorrow, so. All right, super close. I'm gonna try to do this again tomorrow. I want to see if I can get to B rank. All right, but I do want to thank everybody that came on by. Ender, thank you for the Twitch raid. Thank you guys all for coming by, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch. Leave a follow or a sub on your way out. That would mean the world to me. Let's see if I could pass this over to somebody else. Let's see if we can pay up forward. So on the Twitch side, let's see if we can rate someone. I'm gonna send you guys over to my friend Manny. So he's playing some Ultimate Chicken Horse. Super wholesome, friendly streamer. Show him some love, alright guys? Alright. Yeah. Tomorrow, looks like we're doing some more Gran Turismo. Let's see if we can get B ranked. But yeah, thank you guys all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.